Imagine waking up to a world completely different from the one you know. Markets crash. Overnight, currencies lose their value and global industries crumble. That's the terrifying reality. If World War III were to erupt, in today's video, we'll dive deep into the unimaginable financial losses the world could face in the event of a global conflict. Buckle up, because the numbers are staggering and the impact goes far beyond just dollars and cents. Number 1. Immediate stock market crash. The first and most immediate impact would be a catastrophic collapse of global stock markets. Major indices like the Dow Jones, S&P 500, Nikkei and FTSE would likely plummet by over 50% within days. During past wars and crises, markets dropped dramatically, but a third world war would be unprecedented. Trillions of dollars in market capitalization could be wiped out almost instantly. The interconnectedness of modern economies means a crash in New York could trigger collapses in London, Tokyo, and Hong Kong simultaneously. Retirement funds, pensions, and personal investments would be decimated, plunging millions into financial ruin overnight. The psychological toll would be immense, with fear and uncertainty feeding into events. Deeper financial instability. Number 2. Collapse of global trade. World War III would disrupt trade routes, destroy infrastructure, and create geopolitical chaos, paralyzing global commerce. The World Trade Organization, U2, estimates that even minor conflicts can shrink global trade by up to 10%. In a full-scale global war, losses could reach 50% or more. Ports would close, supply chains would disintegrate, and critical goods like food, medicine, and technology would become scarce. Industries dependent on global trade, such as manufacturing, automotive, and electronics, could suffer losses of hundreds of billions annually. Developing nations relying on exports would be particularly devastated, facing economic collapse and humanitarian crises simultaneously. The dream of globalization would shatter in the face of survival-driven nationalism. Number 3. Massive debt defaults. Countries would be forced to redirect financial resources to military spending, abandoning fiscal responsibility. This massive shift would lead to sovereign debt defaults at an alarming scale. Think about it. If governments prioritize tanks over treasuries, debt obligations get pushed aside. Global debt currently stands at over $300 trillion. Even a small fraction of default could trigger a catastrophic chain reaction in the financial system. Banks would collapse under the weight of it. Bad loans, insurance companies would fail to pay out policies, and credit markets would freeze completely. Without credit, businesses can't function, homes can't be bought, and the basic trust that underpins the economy would dissolve. A new Great Depression, far deeper than that, 1930s, could ensue. Number 4. Hyperinflation and currency collapse. In a desperate attempt to fund their war efforts, many governments would print massive amounts of money. History shows us that hyperinflation like that experienced by Germany after World War I or Zimbabwe in the 2000s is almost inevitable in wartime economy. If World War III breaks out, leading currencies like the dollar, euro, and yen could face rapid devaluation. The cost of basic necessities, food, shelter, medicine could skyrocket overnight, making survival unaffordable for millions. Black markets would flourish while official economies would collapse. Inflation rates of 1,000% or more annually could become the new normal in some countries, wiping out savings and making long-term financial planning almost impossible. Number 5. Destruction of critical industries. Entire industries could be decimated overnight. Airlines, tourism, tech companies, and luxury goods markets would see near total annihilation as people focus solely on essential. Meanwhile, industries tied to survival agriculture, arms manufacturing, healthcare would surge, but at enormous human and financial cost. For example, the global aviation industry, worth over $800 billion, would likely collapse within weeks. Silicon Valley tech giants could lose trillions in valuation as innovation takes a backseat to immediate survival need. Infrastructure would be bombed into oblivion, costing trillions more in reconstruction. The long-term ripple effects could set back global development by decades, possibly erasing the progress of the last century in a matter of years. In summary, The financial losses from World War III would be almost beyond comprehension. Trillions lost in markets, trade halted, debts defaulted, currencies destroyed, and entire industries wiped off the map. But beyond the numbers lies an even greater tragedy: the human cost, the broken dreams, and the shattered society. Let's hope and pray that this nightmare scenario remains just that, a nightmare, never to become our reality.